All right, ladies and gentlemen. So the Chicago Bears a couple of weeks ago hired Ben Johnson to be their head coach. And this was the sexy hire. This was the clear cut, no brainer, especially when you factored in Caleb Williams. But what Ben Johnson has done in the last week, 2 weeks or so, has built an insane staff. And we'll talk about it. But last night, or yeah, yesterday afternoon, the Chicago Bears officially hired Eric Bieniemy as their running backs coach. So, per Jordan Schultz of Fox Sports, the Bears are hiring Eric Bieniemy as their running backs coach. He was most recently the assistant head coach, and offensive coordinator for the UCLA Bruins. He was recently the Washington Commanders offensive coordinator back in 2023. This is a money move. And once again, here's Eric Bieniemy knows exactly what he's doing. This guy not only was a phenomenal running back in both college and the NFL, he has been a very good offensive coach. I get it. The 2023 stint with the Commanders doesn't really showcase everything because that was just the year before Jayden Daniels. That was just turmoil. That was before Dan Quinn. That was just a turmoil Washington Commanders year, and it's why they were able to draft Jayden Daniels, right? But you can only do so much with what you're given. And I think Eric Bieniemy, as far as the running backs coach, it is very similar to me as far as Dennis Allen being the defensive coordinator. Dennis Allen knows what he's doing on defense. Let him be the DC. Just like Matt Eberflus. He knows what he's doing on defense, but I don't really want him to be my head coach. Eric Bieniemy knows what he's doing on offense, but I don't necessarily want him to be my head coach. But Eric Bieniemy is going to get this culture right. But before we get any further into today's video, hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily Bears and NFL content. Try and get this video to 100 likes, folks. That would mean the absolute world to me. So Bieniemy got his first NFL job in 2006, where he took over as the Minnesota Vikings running back coach. He was promoted to assistant head coach and running backs coach in 2010, but he actually joined Colorado's staff in 2011 as their offensive coordinator. In 2013, he returned to the NFL as the Kansas City Chiefs running back coach and stayed in that position until 2018, where he was then promoted to offensive coordinator. As Kansas City's offensive coordinator, Bieniemy helped the Chiefs reach 3 Super Bowls and win in 2019 and 2022. And then obviously he departs to Washington, and then he departed UCLA. But this is a guy who's been around the block. He was a talented athlete himself, and he's got the track record as far as coaching goes. But my favorite thing about Eric Bieniemy is this culture. This is a hard-nosed dude. Rough around the edges in the sense of no BS. Absolutely no BS. Now, there have been some comments that's players view that as toxic. He's too demanding. Well, you shouldn't be playing for the Chicago Bears. You probably shouldn't even be playing football in the National Football League, but I'm not trying to rag. The running back room for Chicago needs drastic help, drastic help. Gentry is getting rumored a lot right now at pick number 10. Personally, I do not see the Chicago Bears selecting Gentry at pick number 10, but if it did happen, it would be absolutely insane, and it would just be kind of the cherry on top for what would be a perfect offseason. Another offseason win for the Chicago Bears, but this year it just feels real. The Bears last season ran the football for only 102 yards per game. That was 25th in the National Football League. With Justin Fields as the starting running back in the last 3 years, Chicago's been one of the best, if not the best, rushing team in the National Football League. But obviously now with Caleb Williams, it's not Justin Fields. Caleb Williams is still the second leading rusher on the Bears offense, 81 attempts for 489 yards, averaging over 6 yards per carry for a quarterback. And it's not supposed to be a runner. This isn't Lamar Jackson. This isn't Justin Fields. It's not necessarily his calling card, but DeAndre Swift was brought in day one of free agency, and it just didn't pan out, or it hasn't panned out yet. 253 attempts, 959 yards, averaged only 3.79 yards per carry. Rashawn Johnson took a huge step back in his sophomore campaign as far as running the football goes. 55 carries for only 150 yards, averaging 2.7 yards per carry. So I don't know if it's going to be Gentry. I don't know if it's going to be DeAndre Swift. It could be somebody else. That's not my point. My point just is the Chicago Bears running back room needed help, and Eric Bieniemy knows exactly what he's doing at that position. So I'm very excited for the Chicago Bears just landing all these A1 coaches. I mean, according to Jordan Schultz with, what was it, Fox, Bieniemy also received interest from a handful of teams after a very good stint with the UCLA Bruins, but ultimately wanted to join Ben Johnson and rookie quarterback Caleb Williams. So it's just really cool that coaches, players, I mean, the players are about to come, but it's just really cool to see all these coaches actually want to go to the Chicago Bears organization, because the dysfunctionality this organization as team, starting at ownership, is just embarrassing. It's just, everyone hates it. Like, just no one's been happy, right? Everyone, every offseason, they make some good moves, and we have to kind of trick ourselves into thinking maybe this is the year it's turned around. This is the year it's going to be turned around. This was a quote that I saw from a random website that I just thought was cool. The two-time Super Bowl champion and 1990 AP National Championship brings with him a hard-nosed attitude and a knack for drawing up a physical running game. Regardless of what the final look will be for the Chicago Bears backfield, expect a mentality where every inch is a declared state of war against the opposing defense. And I love it. I absolutely love it. And it reminds me almost of what Dennis Allen, the brand new Bears defensive coordinator, had to say. We remember Dennis Allen. He was just recently the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. He's only 52 years old. The Saints' tenure didn't go great. It was fine last year. They went 9-8. Derek Carr had a nice season, devastated by injuries this past year. He's also the coach for the Oakland Raiders from 2011 to 2014, where he got fired a couple of games in. But he was also a defensive coordinator for 8 seasons in between that. And here's what he had to say, because he wants to disrupt quarterbacks with his new defense. And here's what he had to say in a press conference on Thursday in his introduction. So I think the foundation is there defensively. And I think, look, when Ben asked me if I would be interested, there were a couple of places that I felt had the pieces in place to potentially be a really good football team. And Chicago was obviously one of them. I think we want to be an attacking, aggressive style of defense. We want to take the fight to the offense and not let the offense dictate the tempo to us. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to challenge everything. We're going to play the game the right way. And so we're looking at the Chicago Bears with Caleb Williams, who just threw 20 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, a couple of coordinators, brand new head coach, a bunch of studs in deeper assistant coaches or player coaches, et cetera, Antoine Randall, Al Harris, list goes on and on and on and on. And also, here's a fun fact. Free agency begins in about 6 weeks from now. According to Over the Cap, the Chicago Bears currently have the 6th most salary cap space available at $63 million. Now, obviously, that number will get rounded down a little bit more because of the upcoming draft in April, but they're still projected to have the 7th most cap space at about $55 million after the draft. So it's a good time to be a Chicago Bears fan. Let me know your thoughts on the Eric Bieniemy hire. That's it for me, and we'll see you soon. Peace.